Let's talk about a feeling that I think pretty much everyone has these days. That sense that you're in a constant race against the clock, that you're somehow already falling behind. So, what's really going on here?
Yeah, it's a huge question, right? Because so many of us feel it. It doesn't matter if you're just starting your career or you're deep into it. There's just this nagging pressure, this anxiety that the clock is ticking faster than ever. But why?
Okay, so let's really unpack that feeling. Where does all this shared anxiety even come from? Well, it all starts with a realization that might actually be a bit of a relief.
Here it is. It is not because you are actually behind. This feeling isn't some kind of personal failure or proof that you're not making enough progress. It's actually a symptom of a much, much bigger phenomenon that affects nearly all of us in this modern world.
And that phenomenon, it has a name. And this gets to the absolute core of the issue. We are all living on something called the comparison timeline. So what is that? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the act of measuring our own progress in life against the, and this is the key part, curated highlights of millions of other people. See, we're not just comparing ourselves to our neighbors anymore. We're scrolling through an endless feed of the most successful, most polished moments from people all over the globe. And this is the result. We see some tech founder who becomes a millionaire at 22, a musician who gets famous at 25, an activist who's changing the world at just 18. And what our brains do is they stitch these incredible, exceptional highlights together into one single, totally impossible timeline. And then we measure our own normal, complicated lives against that. So that's the bottom line. We're judging our own behind-the-scenes footage against everyone else's highlight reel. We never see the years of struggle, the failures, the lucky breaks, or just the messy reality of it all. Nope, we only see that final polished victory, and that totally warps our perception of what a normal life path is even supposed to look like. And this brings us to probably the most important shift in thinking in this entire explainer. We really need to separate what we feel has changed from what has actually changed. It's a really critical distinction to make. And here it is. A day still has 24 hours. A year is still 365 days. Time itself, the one constant, hasn't changed at all. But what has gone into hyperdrive, what's accelerated like crazy, are our expectations of what we should have accomplished within that same amount of time. You know, this gets right to the emotional heart of it. The anxiety isn't really about getting older. It's the fear of getting to a certain age without having checked all the boxes on that impossible crowdsourced timeline. It's a fear of being seen as unsuccessful according to a deadline that we made up in our own heads. Which leads us to our final and honestly our most important takeaway from all this. Because once you understand the whole mechanism, the comparing, the skewed timeline, the super fast expectations, you can actually start to see things in a whole new light. This is the one idea to hold on to. The race is a total fiction. The only schedule that matters is your own. Everyone's journey has its own pace, its own detours, and its own unique rhythm. So the next time you feel that panic, that feeling of being behind, just remember this. You're not late. You're exactly where you need to be on your own timeline.